going on, my sensational sinners? Welcome back to Sin Nation. Please do not forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to become a sensational sinner. And I hope you guys have been staying out of trouble. As for me, well, what's life without a little sin? Today we're going to be reacting to one of Chris Watts' most watched videos. And this video comes from Derek Van Scheck, I believe. This is pretty much the day where the police come and you're watching the video cam of Chris Watts, the neighbor Nate. You guys already know the story, I'm sure. But I just want to go back years later just to watch the full video because I have not watched the full video. But without further ado, you guys, let's get right on into it. Also, when we react, we drink some wine for the most part. Normally, I don't drink wine on very serious cases. If you guys want to know the wine that I'm drinking, let me know down below in the comments and I'll drop the deeds. And without further ado, you guys, let's get into the video.
Welcome back to the channel. Derek Van Scheck here. Chris Watts is the Northern Colorado man who eventually admitted to killing his pregnant wife and 2 young daughters on the morning of August 13th.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like, even seeing him walk so clearly to get that truck, I never even paid attention to his legs walking. This is going to be very interesting.
2018. Right now, you are watching Chris Watts cover up the scene of his crime by loading his deceased pregnant wife and 2 young daughters into the backseat of his work truck, which took him about 50 minutes that morning. His pregnant wife, Shanann, was found buried in a shallow grave in an eastern Colorado oil field where Chris worked, and the bodies of his 2 little girls were found dumped in oil tanks. I live just 40 minutes south of where all this happened, so this case literally hits close to home. At first,
wow, I wonder if he went by the house. I'm going to have to go, search up his page.
Chris Watts claimed his family was just missing, and that's where we're going to start. We're going to watch through police body cameras how this first day unfolded, and I'll point out Chris's body language, which caused police to really suspect he was guilty. Since cameras are now everywhere with doorbell cameras, police body cameras, and cell phone cameras, it's shocking to witness firsthand how everything unfolded and then unraveled quickly for Chris that first day. Now, let's get started.
Even just seeing him going back there one last time when he pulled out of the garage, that is so crazy. He walked out and put his sleeves up. His body, he was so calm.
How you guys doing? What's that? Yeah. How you been?
So that's friend Nicole and her son. This is when friend Nicole called the police because Shanann was missing. And I'm sure you guys know the story.
Hi. Here, Nicole?
Yes.
Okay. What's going on?
So, my friend, we were out of town for a business trip this weekend.
Right.
And I dropped her off at 2 o'clock this morning. She's 15 weeks pregnant. She wasn't feeling well. And she had a doctor's appointment this morning at 9. And I told her to let me know if she needed me to take her. She's got 2 little girls.
And as always, rest in peace to Shanann, Bella, Cece, and baby Nico. Friend Nicole, we all need friends like her because, to be honest, she really cracked this case wide open. I'm not going to even lie. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Chris would have got away with it because he's just extremely dumb. But thank God for her.
Distraught over the weekend, wasn't eating normally or drinking, and we kept trying to force it on her because she's pregnant. Her husband and her supposedly are separating, but she didn't know this. She thought they were just having issues. He disclosed that to me today.
Okay.
Because I called him and I was like, have you talked or heard from Shanann since she left for work this morning? Because I can't get a hold of her. I've called, I've texted. Her car's in the garage.
And see, and that's another thing too. The friend is calling, telling you, hey, have you talked to Shanann? She's, letting you know I can't find your wife. And you go out of your way to just make that story up and say, well, yeah, we're separated. I would love to know what he told her word for word, because that doesn't have nothing to do with what I'm calling you about. I'm asking you where she is. Why are you telling me y'all were separated? What does that have to do with me?
Shoes she wears every single day right at the front door.
She only has 1 vehicle?
No, they only have the 1 vehicle in his work truck.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. There's not a...
girl that went on a play date, but they're 4 and 2. She went on a play date. Why wouldn't she take their car? They're both in car seats.
Bella's so sweet, playing with her baby.
She had a doctor's appointment this
Oh, wow. So they're showing the house, but then they're showing where the family, the kids were at the house. Wow. This is crazy. What these kids played right here in the living room.
She didn't go to the doctor's appointment.
Okay. No answer on the phone. Husband's on his way.
Minnie Mouse out there for Christmas. But it's been absolutely gorgeous here in Colorado, like always.
Supposedly, but he said that 30 minutes ago when I called him again, he said he was 45 minutes out still. And I know the code is the door.
You do?
I do, but there's a thing on it. There's a, no, it'll, Chris, I was gonna do it. There's a, they have the thing flipped up here.
Yeah, so she said Chris told her about 30 minutes ago. He's been saying he's on his way, never come. She got the code to the door. That's how you know she's a good friend. She knows the code to Shanann's door, but it's locked.
Oh, what about the garage door?
I don't
Is
know.
there... do you mind calling him and seeing if we can get a passcode to this and get me permission to go in?
Okay.
It's later revealed the garage door keypad doesn't work, so the only way to get into the house is using the remote garage door opener. Chris seems to have made it so no one would be able to go through the house while he was at work, just in case he thought of extra crime scene cleanup that needed to be done while he was at work.
I'm just gonna check the back, see if I can see anything.
At this point, Officer Coonrod is logically thinking Shanann is having a medical emergency, which is why he's banging on windows to hopefully get her children to let them in to help her.
Yep, I've got to have more unless I get consent from him to go in.
Look at that. Spraying the window.
Oh, no, I got a phone!
Yeah, you got your Fourth Amendment rights to the house.
Okay, the Fourth Amendment, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue, but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Okay, hopefully I didn't get no word. I'm not the best reader, guys, but hey.
Can't violate that. How you doing? You seen your neighbors today?
Neighbor Nate.
No? Okay.
This is Nate, the next door neighbor with that security camera. Up until this point, of course, he had no
Wow.
reason to check his security camera footage.
Oh, we're just trying to get a hold of her. Felt like she wasn't feeling too good and pregnant, and they were just concerned.
You can really see Chris good on that camera.
If you don't be
The little babies. That police is doing his job.
Shit.
I wonder what was going through his mind. He was committed.
Now Ben is filling in Nate on what's going on and how this is all very odd, which is naturally getting Nate more involved.
Chris told me Shannon was at her girlfriend's house.
Do we know who that is?
Do we know
Her
who?
phone number?
He didn't say.
When did he tell you that?
He needs Mrs. Jackson's money. I don't get it. What did he say?
He told me that Shanann didn't take the girls to school this morning because she was going to go on a play date, but her car's here.
Hey, guys. Hold on, I'm just hopping outside right quick.
Wow.
What's Chris's phone number? Hey, Chris, Officer Coonrod for the police department. Pretty
Good.
good. So, do you have any idea where your wife is?
Already, Officer Coonrod feels like Chris isn't taking this seemingly serious situation seriously.
Okay. Right. Well, my concern is her car's here. They're saying she is diabetic. I don't want her, if she's upstairs and can't respond. Okay.
Meanwhile, Chris has no concerns. Even the officer is concerned.
About how far out are you? Okay. All right.
Such a liar.
Thanks. He said like 5 minutes. So he's about here.
He's told us 45 minutes 2 times in a row. So he's just been giving us false times and everything.
Even he's over it.
Because his stories aren't adding up.
Now, the police officer is receiving even more to build on that negative impression of Chris. Obviously, Chris's story of where Shanann and the kids could be is not adding up because he's lying and can't keep his story straight. But why has he been saying he's 5 minutes away for the past 45 minutes? It's likely because while at work, he thought of something that needed cleaning up and didn't want anyone to bust in before he was able to alter his crime scene.
I mean, I don't see anything out of place. I'm not hearing kids. I'm not
He's still not gonna have time to clean it up though. It's too late now.
hearing anything.
No, Cece. Clean up. Remember clean up?
Wow.
What's Shannon's number? I don't hear the phone ring or anything.
The neighbor has a camera system.
See how Ben is rubbing his palms together? That's a sign
Smart.
of positive expectancy. And in this situation, he's expecting information from Nate's camera that will help locate Shanann and the kids.
So he's told us 3 different stories. So the neighbor over there said he has a camera.
I know that's right. He's saying he's been told 3 different stories. The neighbor. I really want to know, like, I got to watch friend Nicole. I know she did an interview, but I really want to know immediately, did they know? Because it seemed like her son is like, we've been told 3 different stories. Let's go look at that camera.
Shannon, are you home?
This kid keeps me going.
Police department, if anyone's inside, make yourself known.
He's trying.
That airplane?
He's a good officer.
Police department, if anyone's inside, make yourself known.
Is that Bella?
Yeah, you'd think they were here, the kids or someone would respond though.
Mm-hmm.
You'd hear some kind of noise.
Here he go, Raggler truck. He's like a, I don't know, hauling. I'm so, just seeing that truck just drives me wild. And why he ain't get out yet?
When Chris finally gets home with the police officer standing right there,
Okay, you guys got to see. Y'all don't see where. Let me put myself on another end so you guys can see. Watch what he does. Like, he literally just like, he does not get out the car fast enough. He goes to the passenger side for what reason? Let me rewind it. Still in, why he ain't out yet? Passenger side for what?
when Chris finally gets home with the police officer standing right there, he goes to the passenger side of his truck to get something? The officer must be thinking she could be dying in there. Why didn't you just quickly hit the button to open the garage and sprint into the house to find out if your family's okay?
What is he doing? Seriously.
Yeah, get me on the phone.
What did he get?
Scott, how you doing? How's it going? So this is the only vehicle she would have?
Then my thing is he sits there, he jogs a little, walk, then he just goes like he's telling himself lights, camera, action. It's just like, that was so crazy. Just the way he did that was crazy.
She would drive? Okay.
Looking in the car for what reason?
More diddle-dallying. Instead of running into the house, he goes into his wife's car to either put something into her car or take something out. Regardless, it's very likely he did something that he thinks will help cover his tracks or make it appear he's less guilty.
There's no way you can look for the day? During the daytime?
Now, neighbor Nate is beginning to search through his security camera footage. Everything's already headed downhill for Chris Watts.
Chris is in the house. We're standing outside of the TV box. Can we go in the house?
Chris was alone in the house for 1 minute and 15 seconds. I think it's safe to say that he wasn't looking under the beds for his family during that time.
Right.
That's up to him. It's his house. Because
Nikki, I'm giving you permission to
She's
walk in
over
my
it.
daughter's house.
She's over it.
mind if I come in, Chris?
That look that she just gave him, y'all look at this look. Ooh, that look. She was mad at him when he opened. Look at this though. She's like, you freaking idiot. Oh, friend Nicole is mad.
Seconds. I think it's safe to say that he wasn't looking.
Watch
under
this
the
look,
beds for
but
his
Nicole
family
is
during
not
that
for
time.
it,
That's
okay?
up to him. It's his house.
She's annoyed.
Nikki, I'm giving you permission to walk in my daughter's house.
Mind if I come in, Chris? Okay.
And it sounded like the mama said on the phone, I give you permission to walk in the house. Unfortunately, the mom can't give permission, but I get it.
You checked upstairs. She's not there. I just want to make sure she's not passed out somewhere.
Look at him,
Mind
Chris
if I look
pacing.
around? Okay, thanks.
And what are you going down to the basement for? What Chris was going down in the basement for? He know they ain't down there.
Upstairs is when Chris's performance really begins.
Oh,
Look at calm he is. So calm. Found her phone. No shit, Sherlock.
Their blanket they sleep with, they don't leave anywhere without them.
good.
What you'll notice is how Chris throws in diversion evidence and diversion dialogue,
Right.
which he thinks will help divert people from looking at him as suspect number one and start to believe the ridiculous story that his family just vanished.
Nothing else appears to be missing, though. Just stuff you'd take for a quick trip.
You would take that for a quick trip.
Does she work?
Yeah, she works from home.
Oh, from home?
See how Nicole just flailed her left hand right after she touched Shanann's phone? It was as if Shanann's phone burnt her hand. It's because touching Shanann's phone made the likelihood that Shanann is in danger very real. And it was
Wow.
very emotionally painful for her to touch it.
She works this is her lifeline.
That's her lifeline, huh, Chris?
The officer knows people just don't shut down their phones in their own home. This is adding to the officer's suspicion of Chris.
You know her passcode?
I don't know her passcode.
It used to be two.
You don't know your wife's passcode? Chris, oh my gosh, I swear. Men like Chris just boils my blood. It's like he doesn't even care. Who, as a husband, you don't know your wife's passcode? What land do you live in?
35 and now 6 digits.
Baby's due date.
Now, the officer is asking him questions to understand whether he has a decent alibi to decide Chris's level of involvement in all of this.
And then she flew out to Arizona Friday morning, and then she got back last night. About 2 a.m. Flight got delayed. She left about 11. She got here at 2.
Okay.
And I went to work this morning about 5:15, 5:30.
Notice the officer's left hand. It's up to his face, and it's up to his face a lot here on out. But we don't know where it is exactly on his face. If his hand is on his cheek or high chin area, it's a sign of evaluation. If it's on his chin, it's decision. But if it's covering his mouth, it's likely he thinks Chris is lying. We sometimes cover our mouths when we don't like what's coming out of someone else's. Have you ever covered your mouth when someone else told you bad news?
Can you look at your camera to see for their security system to see when she left?
Even Nicole is coming up with stuff. Look at your security system. See when she left. Like, god dang.
They left out the front door.
Very typical of someone who's guilty. Chris is coming across as very negative and not at all proactive. When we lose something or someone we really want back, even long shot ideas always seem worthwhile trying. Chris is hardly giving any ideas or jumping on any reasonable suggestions.
Where are you good to go to school at?
Primrose and Vista Ridge.
This could have been a little test thrown at Chris by the officer. He may have wanted to see if Chris would jump on the idea to call the school because they were originally supposed to go to school that day.
I have no clue at whatsoever why she wouldn't take her cell phone.
Notice Chris and Nicole are both acting scared and nervous with a lot of pacing around and nervous fidgeting. But there's a huge difference between the two. Chris's nervousness is directed inward for himself because he's nervous he'll get caught. Nicole's nervousness is directed outward because her friend appears to be in danger.
I don't know where she's at, where the kids are at.
That's his line. If you were a pull-string doll, that's what he would say.
I have no inclination of where they're at right now. I have no idea, like, where they went. I have no inclination of where she is. I have no inclination of where she is.
Stupid.
The camera said nobody left the house during the day. All the people that showed up in the driveway and entered the garage.
Exactly. Neighbor Nate say nobody left the house. And he go pacing.
Immediately, she looks at Officer Coonrod in a look of shock realization that Chris must be involved. I'm sure the officer gave Nicole a similar look, but more muted.
What's that?
Nicole holds her chin while looking at Chris in a sign of decision.
Absolutely.
Now she rubs the front of her neck in self-comfort due to the troubling news.
And look at Chris's face. It's like, that's just like when a child say, you tell a child something, and they say, hi, and they have this saying, if you can hi, you can hear. It's like, Chris, look at that face he got. You know what was just said.
So, what's Chris's reaction to that shocking news? Watch this.
Your neighbor, he has cameras. He said the only people that left the house were you in the morning and then Joe shut up. That's all he has. But who left and then you?
Chris just says, okay, he knows that news makes him look very guilty.
Absolutely.
Chris tried to brush aside that shocking and troubling news to downplay its importance in front of the police officer. But the officer saw what Chris was trying to do, so now Chris's guilt has become very obvious. Now, it seems Officer Coonrod throws Chris a little test to see how guilty Chris really feels. As you just saw, he walked a few feet behind Chris, and if you never saw a man shit his pants, watch this.
Dispatch for 91. You can cancel.
Look at that terrified look on his face. He thought the officer was radioing him in to arrest him right there.
Medical at their stage.
He should have. Save some time in the bad news interviews he did. Not calling nobody.
Chris buries himself even more in his phone to escape the tension he's feeling, likely texting love messages to his secret mistress.
I mean, he's literally not calling anyone. He's texting.
Yep, more playing with his phone instead of figuring out solutions to find his family. The police officer, of course, is taking all of this in, and it looks like his hand is higher up on his face now, likely covering his mouth at this point in shock and disagreement with what Chris is saying, not saying, and how he's acting. Now, some light fact-finding and interrogation comes.
So, what time do you work?
Usually, once I get to work, it's like 6:30 to 3:30, 4 o'clock.
You usually work nights or days? What time do you leave the day?
What time to leave there?
No, here.
Usually between 5:30 and 6.
Nice. And was Shannon here then?
Yes. Yeah, she's still in bed.
Does she usually watch the kids?
It's like he's not interested in answering those questions. But my thing is, you're not calling people to see where she is either. What is texting gonna do?
You have daycare watch them? Or?
She usually watches the kids at the high school.
Okay.
Do you think they
The
could?
pool! To anyone who doesn't know what Chris knows, that's a logical possibility of where she and the kids could be. They could walk to the community pool. Some people don't bring their phones to the pool. Also, very little clothes or objects get taken to the pool.
True.
So that would explain why things aren't missing. It's a hot day in August. That's where they could be. Now, let's watch Chris's response to that idea.
At the pool?
The little rec center thing right here?
There's a pool right down there.
Yeah.
Chris is so dumb to me. Oh my gosh. Sometimes it just baffles me how he was able to even keep Shanann as long as he did. It's just like a pool. It could be. I cannot believe that he did not get on her last freaking nerves. He acts so stupid and so dumb. It's just all a role to him, and you can tell he's pretending. Look at the look on his face.
that's his response for a logical place they could be? He's like, I don't want to have to walk outside. It's hot out there. Stop interrupting me while I'm texting my girlfriend. Did Chris really think he could just say, I don't know where my family's at, hang back, text his mistress girlfriend, and get away with annihilating his family? Chris Watts must seriously be the dumbest person on earth. It's obvious Chris doesn't want them back, so the officer now asks Chris about marital issues.
You guys having any kind of issues, marital issues, or?
We're going through separation.
You are? Did you guys file it yet or anything, or just talking about it?
No, we're gonna sell the house and do a separation.
Now how's that going?
It's going
Still, for the most part, or?
Then goes back to the pool idea to understand why he's not jumping on the real possibility of where he could find his family.
Does your wife go to that swim pool often, or
It just depends. I mean, on a hot day like this, I would say no.
Yeah, okay, Chris, because people go to outdoor pools on cold days. He's just making excuses so he doesn't have to walk outside on a hot August day. But Chris thinks what he's saying seems believable because he thinks everyone, including the police, are as stupid as he is.
Right.
5:27 a.m. The overhead garage door 2 was left open and never shut.
And first off, friend Nicole asked Chris to find it out like literally so long ago, and it's like you wasn't just trying to find that out. The app on the phone, my app on my phone is literally right there. It shows the activity. It's like get out of here. At this point, Nicole done went downstairs, searched, and then now she back upstairs.
So either like when I pulled away and shut the door, it never shut. It was shut when you got here. So either the sensor was tripping out.
Chris now provides miscellaneous info to divert, cover his tracks, and in his mind, make himself seem more innocent. Now, Chris walks into the bedroom, but for what? Well, it's his big reveal. Watch this.
Uh-oh.
Yep, Shanann's wedding band. But look at how he's holding it. Far away from his body on the tip of his pointer finger, as if he's presenting it to Nicole on a stick, clearly indicating with that body language that he doesn't want any part of what that wedding band represents.
This is crazy to me. So he goes in the room, he comes out slow, and he have it on his hand like he just like a child bringing something to his mom, and it's like, here you go, mama. And it's like he's sitting there waiting for her to say something. It's like, can you talk? Can you open your mouth up? He comes out there with the ring and just shows it like he's a child. He don't say, oh, her ring's out here. I found her ring. Oh my God, Chris is an idiot.
Did you notice his lips sucked in right there? Mm-hmm. That's his way of holding back a duping delight smile.
Does she do her work from a laptop, or is it just from the phone? It's not a joint account.
It's a joint account, but like she controls all of it. Like she doesn't let me do the finances, but that was pretty horrible back in the day, so she just kind of handles all that.
Pretty horrible back in the day. You pretty horrible on that day too. Your finances was wild.
I have the apps on my phone, but I don't have her login to get into it.
More excuses for inaction. The officer sees that Chris doesn't want to find them, but of course they need to be found whether he wants them to be found or not. So the officer starts asking more questions to take charge.
What days does she typically do work? Where are they based out of? Does she have someone that she reports to, though?
Not on the phone at all.
No note or anything by the wedding ring? Is any of her clothes, anything like that missing? It didn't look like she went through and packed up a bag or anything.
Lots of clothes.
Tell you anything about leaving, moving out?
Not moving out. I mean, the last time I talked to her was this morning. She said she's gonna take the kids to a friend's house, and that's where she was gonna be. And then I've texted her today and never heard anything. But the car's here.
Right.
Are here. Unless somebody came and picked her up. But the people that I know, nobody's heard from her. Nobody's seen her.
Right.
That, of course, was a bold-faced lie. But did he seem believable to you? First, body language of what he did okay. Making good eye contact and showing open palms. But he did a lot of subtle things which indicated a lie. Watch again.
The last time I talked to her was this morning. She said she was going to take the kids to a friend's house, and then she asked where she was going to be. And then I've texted her today. I never heard anything. But the car's here.
Right.
Here. Unless somebody came and picked her up. But
He's figuring it out as he go. Text her, say anything, unless somebody picked her up. He just, as he go, he's thinking about it.
people that I know,
No.
nobody's heard from me. Nobody's seen it.
Right.
Stare.
So, what do you think? First, his eye contact wasn't natural and was holding it to see if the officer was buying what he was saying, especially at the end. Second, overuse of hand gestures. He did this to overcompensate for his lie and try to come across as more convincing. Third, notice the shakiness in his voice, a lot of atypical stuttering, stammering, and pausing. Fourth, incongruency between his tonality and his words. There's no sign of shock, sadness, or being scared.
Anything is smart, just drive around, see if I mean,
Here, Chris's smile is so out of control, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Probably not, because I mean,
This is so stupid. Then he said that to try to make it seem like he cares. This is like the most lying, caring, pretending he's done. Should I ride around and see? First off, you don't want to ride around. You think it's funny. This is so stupid. He's an idiot.
you don't know what car she's in, where she's at. I mean, obviously you're not going to see her car. It's here.
What is there to smile about? Your pregnant wife and kids are missing. That's what the officer is thinking.
I've got my detective coming, just because this is kind of an odd situation.
The officer mentions calling in his detective, but excuses it as the situation is just odd. Police don't want to scare a suspect into thinking they're a major suspect, because the last thing they want is their suspect number one to hire a lawyer and shut their mouth. Police need to keep their top suspect optimistic of walking free, so the suspect keeps talking and providing information.
Tell him I'll be there in just a minute.
Next, they go into the neighbor's house to watch the security footage for the very first time.
What's that?
And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try to find the authentic footage where it's not being fast forwarded, because even when Chris was on the stairs, I want to know what was he saying.
And here's neighbor Nate again, and Chris Watts is standing right there beside the TV. This part is unbelievable.
loading my stuff up in my coolers, my water jugs, my book bag, my computers.
Nobody asked for that information.
That has in the toolbox. I knew I was going to have to do some
Look, I'm looking at the camera.
rubbers today.
Keep in mind, this is just 12 hours later. He's now watching himself, for the first time, cover up his murders, with a police officer watching along with him. He's about to shit himself.
Well, what's out so far?
Is this on continually
Yep.
recording?
Notice Chris's nervous gulp as Officer Coonrod confirms his interest in the footage. Notice his face is getting shiny with sweat.
Yeah, so sweaty.
Is it motion or is it? Okay, so it's motion.
Any motion event that happens, but I get cars driving from this street.
I wish I can see what's on that phone. If I'm the officer, I'm trying to see what's on the phone too. I'm standing right by Chris.
Street.
He probably playing, I don't even know if solitary is still a thing. He probably playing damn games on that phone.
This is him at 517.
Chris is burying his head into his phone to mentally escape where he is right now. Yes, it's likely he's texting his mistress girlfriend to keep himself distracted. Also, notice how close he's holding his phone to his body. Very defensive body language, which actually increases the likelihood he's texting his secret mistress.
Now listen guys, we're more than halfway through this video. If you guys are still here, you guys are my people. Subscribe to the channel and become a sensational sinner. Thank you guys for your support.
Park out there on the side. I just want to get everything back in. Be easier to load everything out there, all the tools I had to bring in.
Constant defending and explaining implies guilt.
Ooh, listen. The way he just turned away from that camera to look back, he wrote, I'm going to rewind that. He like He like rolled his eyes. Like he rolled his eyes. He closed. It's like he was like, man, look at that look. Look at this look in his eye. Watch this.
And explaining implies guilt. Notice how he looked completely away from the TV to the door with a deep breath. But what
Okay, I didn't know he was gonna rewind it too.
does that all mean? Many things. First thing,
Yeah.
he doesn't like what he sees on the screen.
Yeah.
Now, this may sound too simple, but it's true. We look away from things we don't like, and we look at things we do like. This includes automobiles, homes, jewelry, and even security footage. Second, the fact that he looked all the way around to the front door shows that he wants to get out of there. Third, very deep breath. Fight or flight instinctual defense mechanism kicked in. This naturally happens when we feel threatened. Our body's heart rate increases quickly in preparation for a fight or to run away.
Nervous?
Now, Chris puts his hands on top of his head in an attempt to calm down so he can appear less nervous. Have you ever seen a marathon runner strike this pose when they cross the finish line?
Yeah.
It's to open up the airways to allow for maximum airflow to calm their heart rate down. Chris is doing this to reduce his signs of nervousness. Even someone as dumb as Chris knows he can't show how nervous he really is when watching himself act suspicious on the security footage, because that's a huge red flag he's guilty.
Is Nate looking at him?
Now, swaying back and forth in nervousness while watching himself pull his truck partway into the garage, which was, of course, to create cover for loading his family's bodies into his truck. Notice his lips are tightly pursed, which indicates withholding the truth.
I'm still so shocked that even though I seen parts of the video, I never seen the kids walking. So it's like and then my thing is, had he picked the kids up, we would have seen them, but I didn't see Bella and Cece. I was looking for their little feet, and I never really saw it.
His heart rate here is so high due to nervousness, he felt the need to hold at least one hand over his head at all times. His nervous swaying back and forth is so over the top. It's like he's slow dancing with himself.
Yeah. He didn't even look at the camera no more. He's looking
Now
away.
he's looking away, thinking of something in a blank stare. I like to think he's wondering whether or not he'll ever be allowed conjugal visits, or if it's just going to be Bubba. What do you think Chris is thinking about?
I don't know. He's breathing, though. He's breathing to calm himself down.
The length of silence here says so much. Because what do you say when you're watching a likely murderer watch himself cover up his murders, which were committed that morning?
Because if there was any sort of action out there,
His camera's
I would have got it.
like you had
Sunglasses fall because the sweat that formed on his head reduced friction for them to stay up. Also, his incredible nervousness caused him to be less spatially aware.
we had issues the other week when people were stealing stuff out of like garages and stuff like that. And I had parked my truck
I had
here.
to park right here.
Yeah.
This is a typical
I'm so happy they cut him off. Shut the hell up, Chris.
sign of a liar, which is diverting. When a liar is being pressed on a key issue, they'll start to talk about other somewhat related things in great detail, which accomplishes two things. First, it makes the liar come across as open and honest because they're surrendering information. Second, they're able to avoid talking about the key issue in which they're guilty of or lying about.
I can see where someone tried to jim me with a flathead screwdriver.
Chris is showing little to no interest in using Nate's camera to figure out where he can find Shanann and the kids. Chris is treating this as his time to defend himself.
Over there, and it was just like,
But if any action would have happened, any cars or anything left your house,
Nate explains how his camera would have captured anyone leaving Chris's house from the garage. Exactly. So Nate's like, yeah, if somebody left that house, that camera would have caught it. Now look at Chris looking away. Let's see his face.
it would have been like right in that area. It should have picked me.
oh, it'll pick up anything coming down the street this way.
You know where that tree is?
Yeah.
So unless they pulled right here,
Yeah.
but I would have caught her walking out.
Looking away
Chris
again.
looks away completely in defeat because he knows all video evidence points to him.
Yeah, all the video evidence point to him. And when he turns around and look back to look like breathing, look how Nate looks at the police. Even Nate knows Nate like something ain't right. Look how he looking at the police.
Nothing for the rest of the day.
Coincidentally, how babies are born comes up on Nate's TV, and of course Chris seizes on that idea to make it appear he's concerned about the safety of his pregnant wife. Watch.
She's pregnant as well.
It's like he says what he thinks he should say based on what he saw in movies, not based on the empathy he feels or even could imagine feeling. Very typical of someone with antisocial personality disorder.
How far along?
14, 15 weeks.
Now Chris tries to make it seem like his missing pregnant wife is the reason he's been acting so nervous. Oh my God. You know what? That's what I always say about him. It's like he's a pretender. He goes off a script. And to think he went his whole life going through that. Like, I believe when he was married to Shanae and they dated, he told her anything she needed to hear. He did anything he needed to do in order to get her. And he pretty much played that role throughout the marriage so he couldn't play it anymore. He ready to go now.
I'm fast forwarding, but you can still see him sway back and forth with his lips sucked in and his arms folded in tightly to his body. That signals Chris is giving himself as much self-comfort as possible while standing.
So nothing, no cars came through because I guarantee with the headlights, it picked up the headlights.
Oh, yeah. And my Vivint said that at 5:27, my garage door was left open.
Why is Chris now talking about a faulty garage door sensor? Yep, diversion.
It says it was shut during the day. I think when Nikki's son, he made it try to move it.
Even him saying Nikki, that's so crazy. Her name is Nicole. That's Fred Nicole. His mistress name was Nicole as well, and he called her Nikki. So when he said the name Nikki, it kind of caused him to kind of stutter after he said that. I think it was stuttering. He said Nikki, then he stuttered a little. To me.
Son, he made it try to move the door.
Let's see.
Door was left open.
Why is Chris now talking about a faulty garage door sensor? Yep, diversion.
It says it was shut during the day. I think when Nikki's son, he made it try to move the door.
It's like he lost track. I don't know. For me, that's just something that I just noticed. It's just because he calls his mistress. Chris has two different lives. He has the life he had with Shanann and his family, and then he had the life that he had with Nikki, the mistress. And they kind of collided for a second, I believe, because it's like when he said the name Nikki, he kind of went blank for a second.
Maybe when they were trying to get in the garage door, and if I broke the laser there.
And what does that have anything to do with finding your pregnant wife and
Nothing.
2 kids? Yep, just diversion.
And it's crazy how he looks the police officer in the eye. He can feel Nate's energy that Nate feel like he guilty. It's been a moment since he looked at Nate.
On the outside doesn't work anymore. It got wet.
Chris is trying everything he can to avoid talking about the real issue. How did they leave the house if the only way to leave the inside locked house was from the garage door that has a motion sensor camera on it? Obviously, he wants to stay far away from that topic.
Yeah, that was it.
All right. Appreciate your time.
Thanks. Hopefully something comes up, dude.
He just leaves.
You just want to go talk to him? I'm going to get his info real quick.
Now we get to find out what neighbor Nate really thinks. Watch this.
No.
He's not acting right. So neighbor Nate is like, no, something's not right. Nate got some good instincts. He sees it.
Apparently, Nate was doing a little body language evaluation on Chris during all of that.
Yes.
Right.
He said he never loads his stuff in and out of the garage ever. See, my thing is Nate is a nosy neighbor. And guess what? A lot of us don't like nosy neighbors, but baby, them nosy neighbors gonna come in clutch, okay? Because they gonna pay attention and they gonna be watching the patterns. Nate, like, them patterns is changing.
Down the street. And then the other thing that doesn't make sense is why would he pull past so far? You can see him pull past.
So Nate also said, why when he pulled in the garage, you know, he didn't stop in front of the garage. He went past the garage door. Like, why are you so far deep in the garage?
Are you able to record this?
I watched just him get out and walk back and forth a couple times. To be completely honest with you, my wife and I were kind of wondering when she was on vacation if something happened, because I've heard them full out screaming at each other at the top of their lungs, and he gets crazy.
Was he? That's
Wow, for Nate to say Chris get crazy, they scream at the top of their lungs, Chris and Shanann, but Chris tries to play it off like he's such a nice, quiet guy.
personally.
That's not the always calm and easygoing Chris he was leading everyone to believe.
It just seems kind of odd to me. Why would he pull the truck up into the garage? If he loads his stuff, he normally just walks back and forth, because I get him on camera.
What does he usually load up?
All he usually has is a lunchbox and a book bag.
Baby, Nate know everything that Chris have. See, you got to have a neighbor like Nate. You have to have it. Oh my gosh. Okay, quick story. So I went out on me and my husband went out on our I keep saying it, anniversary trip. We were gone literally like 3-4 days, and the neighbors didn't see me or my husband for a few days. They only saw the children, going to school, getting off from school. Next thing you know, the police is at our house like the third night we were away, because the police said the neighbor noticed we were not home and they wanted to make sure everything was okay. I'm telling you, listen. I know a lot going on. They probably thinking, oh, they must have did something to the parents, got them locked up in there. I don't know. But listen, I was annoyed because I was trying to enjoy my vacation. But when you have nosy neighbors that's paying attention, that's really good. Nate is able to name everything that Chris normally has, and that's out of his pattern on that day. I love it. I love that for you, Nate.
Computer and usually a water jug. That's it.
Yep, Nate was referring to Chris's baseline and how this morning's actions drastically deviated from that baseline.
He doesn't look worried. He looks like he's trying to cover his tracks. But I can't see what he's doing in the back of the truck because he pulled into the garage.
Even for Nate to say he doesn't look worried is crazy.
They know my camera's there.
Yep, that's how Shanann and the kids left the house, and they know it.
Kind of odd that he pulls his truck back behind my camera. The cutoff, the truck's in the garage right now. He never backs his truck into the driveway ever.
Nate's solving it now.
He's acting so suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
He's normally, you can ask them, he's normally quiet, real subdued. He's over here telling you 3 times what he took out, what he did. He's very, he never talks. So the fact that he's over here blabbing his mouth makes me kind of suspicious.
Right.
Yeah, but put yourself in his situation.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, put yourself in his situation when you annihilated your whole family. Yeah, of course. You have there's lots to talk about, right? I get the officers trying to be nice, but come on. The neighbor's letting you know something ain't right, okay? So listen to neighbor Nate.
Anyone's going to be nervous. You don't know what to do.
Wait, did Officer Coonrod completely buy what Chris was saying? I think the officer was trying to not let on to anyone knowing that police think Chris is very guilty. Because police can't risk anyone knowing that they're onto him, since it may get back to Chris. If Chris feels they're after him, he may stop open dialogue with police, lawyer up, shut his mouth, and test his luck with the jury. Then what are the chances of finding Shanann and the girls? Yes, much smaller. Have you ever noticed police never aggressively accuse? They never say things like, everyone knows you're guilty, just admit it. Who would want to open up to someone like that? Law enforcement wants to come across as your friend, where they empathize with you, and sometimes even appearing to side with you, so you voluntarily share information with them. That's the most effective way for law enforcement to solve cases. Police quickly knew Chris Watts was guilty because his body language showed little to no interest in finding his wife and 2 little girls.
Yep.
And even came across as happy that they were gone. Because sadly, that's what he wanted.
Yep.
A new life without a wife and kids. His nervous body language, especially watching his neighbor's security footage, also gave him away. Because as much as he tried to hide it, it was obvious he was guilty and was scared of getting caught. Now in the comments, what do you think Chris Watts was thinking about when he was watching his neighbor's security footage? Let everyone know in the comments below. Give this video...
That is so scary. Like, that's crazy. Oh Lord, that video is wild, you guys. Lord, I hope y'all made it to the end. Okay, please do not forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, become a sensational sinner. Okay, I'm gonna have more Chris Watts content. If you guys want to see me cover anything else, you can leave that down below in the comments, or you can send it to my contact information that's down below in the description. It's just so crazy to me. I just never get over it. Like, I'm literally obsessed with the Chris Watts case. I wish more updates would come out because it's so much that Chris is missing. And I know eventually that Mistress Nicole is probably going to come out and do an interview. I'm sure Chris's mom is going to come out and do another dumb, stupid interview. I'll probably be reacting on that interview soon. But once again, you guys, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for all your support. Please do not forget, pour me some wine. I'm watching true crime. Bye, y'all.